By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
What's going on, everybody? Tim McCarthy here, host of the podcast 20 Minutes. This is a podcast that focuses on mental health through humor, insight, and personal stories. There is no guest introduction today, so that only means today is a big episode. But first, before we get into all that, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. Or, if you don't like talking on the phone like myself, you can text the crisis text line. Text the word HOME to 741-741 if you live in the North Americas. You can go to crisistextline.org to learn more. So yeah, this is episode 76, another big episode for you, boy. Don't forget to go to 20minutes.com and download the 20 Minutes app for merch, Monday motivation, new episodes, and much, much more. And I put my little promo pics up on my website so you can see how cute I am. So yeah, no special guests, and don't forget I got my hat and swag giveaway. Right now we have $240 raised for the Suicide Prevention Coalition out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. I'm looking to raise money for them. I've already raised $240 from people on Twitter and stuff, so it's been great. I'm going to give away that custom hat I have. That's going to be a one-of-a-kind, a bunch of 22 minute swagger. And you know what? I'm up in the ante. I'm going to throw in a $25 Amazon gift card for everyone that donates, and the winner will get that as well. Not everyone will get that, obviously, but the winner will get that on top of the hat and everything like that. So yeah, how about you donate and give a hoot? Don't do bad things. So yeah, I forgot to mention this last week when I went to PAX East, the video game convention with my buddy Duff. I found this person that was selling this game called Your Friend is Sad. And it's pretty much a game that you play with your friend when they're sad. And I played it one day when I was kind of sad, not really. And it's kind of a cute little game. And it's kind of like almost like a Go Fish type of game, but not really. And I was pretty cheered up by the end of it, even though I lost. I always lose games. I don't like losing, but I couldn't be mad at this one because it would be called Your Friend is Mad, and that game would be about me. But I talked to the creator of this game. I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast and chat with him about it. Because I really liked how they have a booklet in the game about how to play, and on the last page they give you a bunch of resources for mental health help. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just wanted to share that with you guys. That is not a promo ad. That is just a Tim's stamp of approval. Tim's stamp of approval. So I missed therapy recently. That was fun. I slept through my alarm. I can't organize my time and my schedule at all. I had it for 11:45, and it was at 10 a.m., and I woke up at noon. So there's a lot going on with me right now. And I felt bad because it's not only am I messing myself up, I'm messing up somebody else's time, which as an empath, I always feel for other people. And I just got beat up by him having to wait around for me. And today, same thing happened right now. So it says it's at 10 a.m., but I remember him calling in and saying he had to reschedule for Thursday at 10 a.m., but they're both still in my schedule. So after this, I'm going to go call and just triple check that I'm not meeting with him today. But the other thing that sucks about this whole thing is, like, I didn't know about this. So when COVID hit, they didn't allow you to make co-pays. They were like, oh, the next couple co-pays are free. I thought that was just good for until COVID was officially done. It was only for 3 payments. I haven't paid my copay for therapy in quite some time. My bill's around $300, and to just throw them $300 right now is not what I want to do, but I have to do. Copays are the worst. It's like, yeah, you got this insurance. It makes it so much cheaper, but every time you show up, you got to pay $50. Not, I don't have to pay $50 for my insurance, but I'm just saying as an exaggerated way. I know I've been going to the chiropractor lately because my neck has been bad. And that was like a $40 copay to just crack my neck. And I'm like, I can do that for free. But it was actually really good. He found out that there was like 2 vertebrae that were like off-centered in my back. And I was just going for my neck. And I was like, God damn. Because when I train jiu-jitsu, I can only imagine that my spine and neck are going ways it shouldn't go. So I went back to jiu-jitsu finally. And the first thing that happened to me when I was rolling with the guy is my neck cracked. And I was like, oh man, my chiropractor is going to be pissed. But you know what I'm going to say to him? I paid this copay. I'm here for a reason. But yeah, I've actually been having a rough go at it, even though it always seems like I'm not. It's just been very tough. with everything going on and just not doing good. And I'm trying to stay positive. Going through a separation divorce is not easy. We still have our fights, but we're still good friends. But it's not easy. And anyone that's gone through it always tells me it's not easy, and I know it firsthand. That sucks. But I'm trying to stay positive with everything. I do have my breakdowns still, even with medication. I just got my medications adjusted because I'm usually on the Adderall XR, but sometimes like taking it too late in the day will screw up my sleep. So I'm doing a little 50-50 split with the extended release and the instant release, which I think will help. If I take the extended during the day and the instant at night or later in the day, it's going to be a lot easier for me because I need my sleep. When I don't get my sleep, I always tell people this. If I can't sleep, poop, or if I have to sleep, poop, or what's the other one? I get really angry. Or if I'm hungry, yeah, the hangry, even though I hate when people say hangry. So yeah, if I'm not getting my sleep, if I can't poop right away and I can't eat, you better get out of my way because I'm very, very agitated. If you ever wake me up from sleep to tell me something stupid, that's why I leave my phone on quiet at all times because I'm like a cat. I'm a house cat. That's my spirit animal. I will sleep anywhere at any time. I will clean myself really quick, run around, throw up, and just be a cat. I just had to rip my cat off my bed. I got these new sheets, and cats just love doing that move when they're about to throw up. People that are listening, you know what I'm talking about. I know you're not seeing right now. Also, don't forget to go on YouTube to check out my episodes if you're listening to them via audio message by Tim McCarthy. So this episode last year on this date was a big one for me because May 5th, 2019 was the day I almost took my own life. And episode 25 is the one I really go into details about it, and it's very tough, and I started to cry at the end. But doing all these interviews on different podcasts have really helped me to share my story and talk about it. And it's been really fun in a weird way because the way I tell the story, I just spin it a little bit because I'm so I like to make it kind of not funny in a way, but the way I present things, it's because it was on May 5th, so I always tell people it's Cinco de Hango, and their brain just doesn't click right away. So I have to make more jokes to make me feel better. Someone else might not like it, and that's fine. You don't have to listen to it. But when you ask about it, I'm gonna say that. Humna. So yeah, this is this week for me, and I actually almost didn't realize it until now. So I wanted to keep this episode pretty simple. But for the people that don't know, if you don't go back to listen to episode 25, the special edition, pretty much I just had a really rough day. Well, I had a really rough life, and I tell everybody, if you saw me with my huge beard, I look like absolute dog shit. And every day was just misery and just misery. And one of the last things that I remember was I was watching that Adam Sandler's 100% Fresh. And at the end, he sings about Chris Farley. And I was super upset about that. And I was crying. And then I looked at the calendar. And at the time, I didn't even know what the date was. I just remember looking at the calendar. And then I was going upstairs. And I waved to my dog goodbye. Like that. He can't wave back. You know what I mean? And then I went upstairs and I felt like I was in the last row of my brain. I felt like I was in the movie Get Out, but without the racism, where I was in my body, but I wasn't controlling it. And then I got upstairs and just stood there with my jiu-jitsu belt around my neck and just stood there probably for what felt like hours, but probably was only 20, 25 minutes. And I just stood there and it was just awful. It was just awful. And my cat Lucille bumped me. And I was just I woke up out of the trance, and she meowed at me, and I was like, what do you need? And I realized she didn't have food. And it was a series of events after that. I fed the food, and then I looked at my phone real quick, and I had a notification. And I'm one of those people that if I get a notification, I have to look at it right away. So I had a notification from a friend, and they were worried about me because I was making weird statements earlier that day. So people were trying to find me and shit. So then I started making calls back, and yeah, and the rest was history. And here I am. 22 minutes has been created due to the me fucking not following through with something, which this time it was a good thing. So reflecting on that a lot, I still have my days, but looking at the podcast and stuff, I do feel like I definitely would have missed a lot of great things, good things, and bad things still happen, but you got to take the good with the bad, huh? Throw that on a t-shirt and sell it. So what I want to do to make this a little bit easier is I want to say 20 things that I'm grateful for. I'm not just going to go down them rapidly because you know me. I'll probably go off the reservation for a little while. But I just want to go over 20 things that I'm very grateful for that wouldn't be in my life today if that day went down. So I do appreciate you guys checking out my episode. I don't know why I'm saying thank you right now when there's 10 minutes left. But yeah, so number one, my family, my dogs, and my cats. I'm very grateful for them. I have two older siblings, one younger sibling. My older sibling, Melissa, Bill, and then my younger brother, Andrew. They are all hysterical. They all have the best laughs. As being the funniest sibling, you know, the most handsome and the most cute, I understand why, you know. But no, I love hanging out with them every time and making them laugh. And then like my nieces and nephews and all of them. And then obviously my mom. I love my mom so much. She taught me everything I needed to know in life. And we're all going to go see the Casey and the Sunshine Band later this year. And I am pumped. Not even to go see them, but to share it with my family because my mom is a huge Casey and the Sunshine Band fan. And me and my brother Bill went to them in Rhode Island a couple of years back. And it was actually in the middle of me being depressed. And it was probably like the only time I really had fun out of like the whole time, like every day. Like obviously like when I wanted to kill myself, every day wasn't like, it was like inside, but there was like points like, it's like when you're happy every day, there's going to be a sad day. Well, I was sad every day and there was a happy day. And that was like one of like the biggest ones. It was me, my brother, and my mom. And I'll never forget that. And I can't wait for the next one coming up. And then my friends, number two, even the people from Twitter included, the special people in my life, the special person in my life. It's good to have friends. I know a lot of my friends aren't around anymore. You just either lose touch or they just don't like you anymore or they give up or what have you. But I do have a good core of friends that I stick with. And I will stick with because I love loyalty. I love people that are loyal to me. I try to be as loyal back to them as I can, which I usually am. I can't think of an instance which I wasn't. But again, I'm not perfect. I always say that. I think I'm just a walking piece of shit sometimes. But I'm doing better with therapy, not thinking like that and thinking I'm actually a good person, which I am. But yeah, shout out to all my Twitter peeps from the podcast because I meet a lot of them and they help me out with the podcast and a lot of them are fans. And I always feel bad because like I don't even listen to my podcast, but I'll support great people with podcasts. That's what I always do. I would rather support a great person with the podcast than like a shitty person with a great podcast. You know what I mean? Like a well-known one. Like these are my people. So shout out to all the people on Twitter. You know who you are, guys and gals. Shout out. Number three would be my overall health. I'm grateful for that because I always see people that aren't as healthy as I am. And you know, you can't compare yourself to other people, but I am happy that like I'm almost physically fit. I could still go to the gym a little bit, but I have the opportunity to do that. And I am very grateful for my overall health, which leads me to I'm grateful for jiu-jitsu and going to the gym. Jiu-jitsu is one of the things that, even though I tried using my belt in the wrong way, it was something I built my confidence from. I was never a fighter, and I don't consider myself a fighter, but I'm at the point now that if someone like attacked me like a normal human, I could defuse the situation. I'm not scared. I ain't afraid of no ghost. But it built my confidence up so well, and I made a lot of great friends because of that. It's just extreme cuddling. If you're a better cuddler, you're good at jiu-jitsu. And then going to the gym is just good for your mental health. Going out there and just working out. I always say, and people agree, the hardest part about working out is going there, getting up and going. Like waking up, putting your bag together, getting in the car, driving, psyching yourself to walk in. Like gym anxiety is real, so I understand that. But you'll always thank yourself. There's not one time I ever left the gym being like, man, I wish I didn't go. Every time, like the only time that I was upset I went to the gym was when I forgot my headphones. And I'm not going to lie, I turned right around. I'm not working out to nothing. And the music they play at the gyms is never good. It's like, now I call that 75, and it's like jock jams. Nothing but jock jams. Y'all ready for this? Number 5 is my job. I don't really talk about my job too much because I don't want it to be affiliated in any way, even though my own expressions are my own, whatever that saying is. My views and my expressions have nothing to do with my job, but I'm very grateful to have a paying job, and that's that. I always say this, if I didn't have my sense of humor and my taste in music, I would be dead. And that is true. I think I have a great sense of humor. A lot of things make me laugh. I think one of the funniest things I do is if I tell a joke and it doesn't land, which means it sucks and no one laughs, I think that's hysterical. Isn't it? Like, I think this joke is so funny, I want to share it with somebody and nobody laughs. So the funny thing that I'll try to do is just say it again because I know they heard me, but I want to make sure they did. And then with my taste in music, like, come on, I got a great taste in music. I listen to everything but country. I know everyone says that. There's like a little bit of country I listen to, like old school Hank Williams. But I remember like listening to like wrestling theme songs, Project Pat, Kesha, JoJo, when I was like super depressed, and like that's what kept me going. And just being down and out and just making jokes about it along the way really helped me going through. Therapy and medication, if without those two things, I definitely would be dead. I didn't take them at the time. Medication I was never good with. There's been hiccups where I wasn't taking my medication, and then the journey of finding a good therapist twice was not, 3 times actually, was not easy. I had Ron, Rachel, and now I got my current one, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say their names, but he's awesome. Photos. My memory's so bad, but I love photos. Everyone needs to take more photos. The iPhone kind of like took it out of me taking photos, because I would always have a camera and I would always take pictures of people, like a nice little Nokia camera. And I don't do that as much, and I got to do that more often. I love the Polaroids as well. Video games. Video games have always been a thing for me. It actually helped me with my speech as a young kid. Like, I think my first word was Nintendo. It built my confidence as a kid because I absolutely murked people in that game Kung Fu when I was a kid. There's an article about it. I'll share it with you. It's on my Instagram, 2010 minutes. My self-awareness, I really pride myself on. There's like nothing you can tell me that I don't already know about myself. And if you do, I'm very open to it. I'm like, yeah, you are right. So I can definitely correct myself if I'm wrong. But with having self-awareness around me, sometimes it's like too bad. Like I think too much into it, and I think about my thoughts. Like I think and think and think. So yeah, that one's there. 11, sleep. A good night rest. Very grateful for. If I can get those, woo-wee, I'm a happy Tim. This one's a little different, but everyone always says I have nice teeth. I really don't. I think it's just for show. Like I do the Crest White Strips. I have a missing tooth. Not many people know. You see it? But floss sticks, those are the greatest inventions in the world. I love the dentist. I'm like, go harder, like make me bleed. And like, I just love doing the floss sticks, keeping my teeth all clean, you know? Number 13 is my truck. I have a Tacoma. My nickname is Timmy Tacoma. About 2 people call me that, but it's a perfect size truck for a little guy just like me. So I'm very grateful that I have a very reliable truck. Every time I bring it to the mechanic, and I've never heard a mechanic say this, he goes, there is nothing wrong with your car. And I'm like, hey man, you're bad at business. You should tell me something's wrong with it. So I'm very grateful for my truck. The past, present, and future, all is one. I learned from my past. I'm trying to appreciate the present. And I'm scared of the future. I've always been, but I'm looking forward to it to see what's going to happen. 15, making people laugh and smile. It's one of the best feelings in the world. I never consider myself a comedian or somebody that's funny. I hate saying things about saying things about somebody else, like those words, like, oh, that guy's a comedian. I would never say that about myself, and I don't care like if I am or not, but I could just never say it. But I love making people laugh, and I'm very grateful for people that make me feel good for making them feel good, especially with this podcast. 16 is kind of back to number 1, my family, but I'm very grateful for my mom, learning from my mom, being very respectful. I feel like she made me, I consider myself a feminist. My mom is very good at finding a bargain. She is a bargain hunter, and she knows how to wheel and deal. But I just love my mom so much. I'm very grateful for her and everything that she taught me as a single mom growing up. But yeah, shout out to moms out there, you know. Number 17 is socks. Nothing better than a fresh pair of socks. My feet sweat in sandals, all right? I bring an extra pair of socks with me, like pretty much everywhere I go, if it's going to be a long day, and then I can switch my socks out. But a fresh pair of socks all day over a fresh pair of underwear. I'd rather free ball. Just give me a free fresh pair of socks any day. Number 18, the cat closet, the podcast, and the guests I've had on. The cat closet will come to an end at some point, and I don't know when, but it will be, and it's going to be very sad for me. Very grateful for being able to record in such a cool studio. The guests I've had on, god damn, man, I've had so many great guests on, and I've been on some great podcasts. And like all the guests I've had on, like a lot of them I made friends with, like Felicity Feline, Joe Barksdale, just so many. And I just really appreciate becoming friends with people that I just asked to be on the podcast. And it's like we text and stuff, like Lindsay Martin, really good friend of mine now. It's just very nice, and to make friends over the internets is very cool and not a weird way. Like back in the day, like when it was just MySpace meeting people offline, kind of weird. Now it's like you make business partners. Like I think Hops Geek News podcast, like they never even met the two hosts. Like that's crazy to me. 19, this is kind of a weird one, but I am grateful I'm not grateful for divorce, but I'm grateful for what me and Lindsay have gone through as a couple and friends. I'm very grateful for her, everything she's done for me, everything she's doing for me, everything she will keep doing for me. We're best friends. I'm very grateful for Lindsay and the time we've shared as a couple. And then number 20, being alive. Bee Gees, staying alive. I'm very grateful for being alive. I would have made a lot of people upset if I dipped out, but I didn't. Your boy stayed. He got an extra life. He found it somewhere in a cat. Like if my life was a video game, I would have found an extra life in my cat food. Like that's pretty much what would have happened. But yeah, I made this an easy episode just for me mentally, and hopefully you guys stuck through the whole thing. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everybody that has stuck with me, even if it was day one or if you're with me today. I really, truly appreciate it. You keep me going with this podcast. I love when people come up to me and talk about the podcast that don't listen to it. That's kind of like in the realm of like me saying something funny and they don't laugh. They're like, oh man, the podcast's doing good. Yeah. They're like, oh, I haven't listened to it yet. I'm like, oh dude, just you bringing it up makes me so happy because it's so cool that people are even seeing that I'm doing it. Because I always see what people are doing. I'm always on social media and I love seeing people make moves. I don't know why we think it's weird to like bring up something that people post on social media. If I see a friend I haven't saw in a while, like, oh yeah, you got a new dog? I'm like, how'd you know? It's like, no, dude, you post it on social media like all the time. Like, why can't I comment on it? We got to make that normalized. Commenting on stuff that you don't see people that often and be like, oh yeah, congrats on the new twins. How do you know that? You creep. That's the worst thing you can call a guy is a creep. I swear to God. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of 2010 Minutes. Please go to 2010minutes.com to learn more. Download the 2010 Minutes app on both Android and iPhone. Yeah, I have an app. Shout out to Caleb with Advertisers LLC. And don't forget, I'm selling those donations for that hat. So every $5 you do, you get one drawing in for the hat. 20 minute swag and the $25 Amazon gift card I'm going to do for people. So currently $240. Let's make that to 3 at least. I thank you guys so much, man. Episode 76 doesn't have a good ring to it, but I really appreciate it. You know I love you guys. Go fucking kick today in the face. Straight up. Here's Tim's tip of the day. Like punch today right in the mouth. Because you don't know if there's going to be tomorrow. Like there's no reason for like what's going to stop you today. I'm wearing a shirt with no pants on right now. I don't give a frick. I'm like, it's early right now. I recorded this episode late, but I'm going to dominate the absolute shit out of it today. And you should too. I love you and have a good one. And we're clear. Shout out to the Sticky Yeti podcast. I love you. Yeah, I got nothing else. I just love you guys. Have a good one. This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you are feeling suicidal, please dial 911.